Okay, so let's go ahead and keep moving down this page. We've created our version, and we've got we've got some work to do, but at least we've got the basics in here for the most part. So let's go over and take a look at our lacerte page that we're trying to build against. So we're down in this area. It looks like we've got an inner space. We go back to a new container, add in an inner space and a text, another text, an inner space, and then we have a pretty complex series of grids here. We have a grid and then nested grids within each one of these, and we're not going to do that. But what we want to do is just work a little bit with this icon font. So we're going to have you build that out. We'll throw in, let's throw in the CTA. We're going to work with this configuration with these images. And we'll do this carousel as well. And that's probably all we're going to do on this page. And again, it's not to make it perfectly a perfect replica of the lacerte homepage. We're just trying to get your hands on this and give you a reference point that you can go back to and say, that's how that should look. So let's go ahead and do this. And again, these inner space components, we will most likely be deleting those, because that really is just not a good way to go for spacing, especially when I can tell here that there's a container here and there's a container here. I would just use the container padding here. But we're going to put those in, and later we'll demonstrate. We'll go ahead and pull those out, just to kind of demonstrate the difference on that. So let's go ahead and build this out. Just going to right click. We will add in that inner space. Bad habit as that may be. Down here we'll go ahead and edit a container. Make that a 960. Going to add in a text harmony. Oops. Put in another container. Another text harmony. Then we'll put in a grid responsive. Okay, so we've built that out. Let's do a quick copy and paste to the text in these areas. And you can do this. Again, if you want to strip out the formatting and put it into Notepad, you can do that. And these, again, we're going to go back through and do some formatting on these. So we're just getting the general page in place. And then we have our grid. So again, here, this grid is pretty complex, and we're not going to make it that complex. We're just going to go ahead and stick in, we're going to create 3 equal containers and drop in an icon font responsive, and then drop in some text underneath. So for this, we're going to go through and do and we'll do that with 3 containers. And again, for the purpose of what we're doing, I think that'll work just fine. So we have our text roughed in. Let's go ahead and drop in our icon font. Again, we're going to right click new. You want to be sure to get the icon font. There is a non-responsive icon font, but you want to make sure you get this from the responsive tab. So let's go down here and make sure we've got that icon font there. Okay, and there's the dialog. And something that you can do here, if you click copy, you can paste these in. So that'll save you a step. We're going to stick a text harmony underneath that. So let's go to the core. Text harmony. We'll do the same copy and paste. In this case, right click copy, paste, paste. Now let's go through and do, let's configure these icon fonts. So if we come over here to the lacerte page, we can open this up. And it's set up as a font awesome. It has stacked icons, so there's a vertical stacking to them. They're using a custom icon set. There's also some ones you can just select themselves. And this has got a link set up, or it's referred to, the custom icon is referred to as the FA-link. That may not be true of, so basically what that is it's just showing you that it's this link. It's a description for it. You've got icon sizes and colors. And here's the second one. That's a square that will go around the custom font. So the link is that font right there. And then the square going around it is the second font, and these are stacked. So this size is, that one's 1x, that one's 2x, and they're both the same color. And then the basic attributes are designated here. They're large, opacity is enabled, and they are centered. So let's see just how close to that we can get on ours. So we're going to come over here. Again, we're flipping between the lacerte page and our lacerte page. So let's go ahead and click Edit. We're going to choose our library. We do want stacked icons. We're going to add these icons. So the font is a custom font, and that's the designation for that. The size is, I believe it was 1x, and the color was secondary. We're going to add an item. So it's going to create another item for that particular font. That was the square, and it was just a little bit bigger, and it was the same color. Now, it could very well be, because of PTG, the way they've got their site set up, that these colors may not be in alignment with ours. So, but I think it'll get pretty close. Then we're going to enable the opacity, and we want to center that up. We'll click OK. And that's what we've got. And we can see the color is different. But again, for the purpose of what we're doing, we don't need the colors to match. So for your exercise, what we'd like you to do is to continue to go through and just build out these next icon fonts. There's no sense watching us do it at this point. We're also going to want you to grab this text and place it underneath that font. And again, this will be a little bit different than what is in the lacerte homepage, but we're just getting you familiar with working with containers, working with some of these different components, and how they're configured. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in another container, put in a text, and drop in these image options, which you've already worked with that. And then we're going to put in this carousel as well.